Love Nation.
Damn.
You.
The DNVR Postgame Show for Colorado versus Kansas State, presented by Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Use the promo code BUFFS, BUFFS, get $20 off your first purchase. Oh, man. That was rough.
It was. Should we go instant takeaways?
Yeah.
This team did so much wrong tonight. They were terrible against the run. They couldn't tackle. They couldn't block. They didn't create a lot of pressure. And they also were without the greatest college football player in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And another one of their top wide receivers.
They lost 4 wide receivers tonight.
And then I was going to say, and then as the game went on, they went without more and more. And yet, after all of that,
I know.
they had the lead, bro.
I know.
They had the lead with just a couple minutes left in the game. And so to me, my frustration, my disappointment honestly goes out the window for the most part for so much of that other stuff.
I know.
And the thing that I will be thinking about tonight when I'm trying to get to sleep and failing is the way that they played and called defense on a drive with the lead and 4 minutes left in a football game where the other team is desperate because they can't survive off a field goal.
Yep.
They can't take their time. They have to get to the end zone. And I just truly, truly, truly do not understand the way that they approached that possession. To get scored on in 3 plays is not – it can't happen. It just can't happen. It can't happen. So credit to the team, honestly, for finding a way to be in that position because it's miraculous that they were ever there.
Yeah.
But, man, it's a huge fumble to let that slip through their hands. And before you guys talk, I'm just going to say this. We're going to talk about guys who played well, guys who didn't play well. We're going to go through all of it. But if you are coming here hoping for some sky is falling, fire this person, do that, this is a joke, this guy sucks, he should never play, that's not what this is. So just watch something else.
Yep.
But we are going to get into it, and we're going to be critical, and we're going to discuss what went right and what went wrong.
Unc, you go first. I'll go last.
He technically went first.
Well, you go next.
So first, let me, like you're doing alone, let me co-sign everything you just said, and let me do my own application here. And I may hop around all over the place because from a positive standpoint, damn, we have a good quarterback.
Best in the country.
I mean, the completion percentage, even with some of the drops that you saw, the decision-making, even including some of the times he should have not taken that sack, when you look at the poise, the yardage, the completion percentage, the situations, I truly do believe we have the best quarterback in the nation because I believe that. I believe everything that was in front of us before this game is still in front of us. Having said that, the offensive line regressed.
Yeah.
Is that the right word, regressed?
Yep.
Relapse, whatever you want to call it. And the one thing that we came into this week being much better at than we were, say, last year or game by game by game building up, man, the tackling was just piss poor.
It was like last year.
Shockingly
And
bad.
I'm talking about, did we have some linebackers that made some good plays? Absolutely.
Yes.
But as a unit, piss poor tackling. Did we have some safeties that made some good plays? Sure. But as a unit, piss poor tackling. I don't know what was going psychologically or physically with Shilo. Worst game I've ever seen him play. And I've been watching him since he was at South Carolina. Have no idea, don't even know the guy that was out there tonight. Like, that's just not even what you would expect from him. Some of the missed tackles and being out of position. But echoing what you said, RK, for all of that to happen, and you're not only in the game, with minutes left in the game, you're leading the game. Yeah. Only to when it was video game. It looked like
the way that everything was going.
Yes,
back and forth.
those last 3 plays for them to win the game.
Yep.
That happens on College 25, not in real life.
Yep.
Because you would make an adjustment, and y'all know how I feel about Rob Livingston. That's my guy. And so, like you said, this ain't something where you're throwing the babe out the bathwater. Some of the calls that we made, some were in the end of the game, it's like I don't know why there's not a safety helping back there. Like you would have. Hindsight being 2020, you could have just been in prevent those 3 plays and they don't score. But when you go cover 0 and they go over the top and you don't have a chance after that.
Yeah.
So I do believe, in summation, Jake, the arrow is still absolutely pointing up with this squad. Mm-hmm. Everything that was before us goal-wise is still before us. I talked to you guys on the bus riding in, and I'll leave you with this. This was another one of those games, I think, like Colorado State, where it was not a must-win, but it felt like a must-win. Because if you lose it, compared to if you win it, if you lose it, everything's still in front of you. But, my God, if you win it, the world is in front of you.
Yep.
Like you got 5 games left to just get 1 more. So you put yourself in a bad position, and to have the lead with so little time left, that's just not typical of who we are.
Yeah, too many mistakes. I think special teams actually showed up. They were probably the best full unit today.
I agree.
But, yeah, too many
Kickoff's
mistakes.
still a problem, but
Yeah, they are. But, I mean, they had some good kickoff coverage. It's not like they allowed big kickoff returns and stuff. So, too many mistakes on defense. Some of the play calling on defense, yeah, not the best. Shilo, of course, too. Not a great game at all.
At all.
No one tackled well. There was they even got sacks. They got pressure. I mean, they came away with 4 sacks tonight, but they allowed 6 of their own. And they abandoned the run again in the middle part of the game.
The whole game.
Well, end of the third quarter, Isaiah Augustave gets his first carry of the game. End of the third quarter.
Yeah.
That was the first called run since the 14-minute point in the second quarter.
Yeah. Because I think first quarter, probably to the detriment, there was like, we're going to run the ball today.
Yeah.
Like we overran, if there's such a thing. But when you look at the second half, late third quarter, we just stopped running the ball.
Yeah.
I guess my main takeaway was the defense was just on the field too long. I mean, 35 minutes of time of possession. Kansas State had 69 plays. They were running it down their throat. That's what lost them this game. I mean, Kansas State was going through injuries too. Avery Johnson was in and out of the locker room a ton in the second half.
Quarterback went out.
Yeah.
And here, pardon the interruption. Quarterback goes out. I happened to be in the locker room talking to one of the injured guys when the quarterback went out. He had some kind of abdominal strain or something. It was a non-contact injury.
Yeah, he went down.
He just instantly grabbed his side, right?
Yeah.
He leaves. Backup comes in.
Handoff.
He's not going to throw the ball. Yeah. You know he's not going to throw the ball.
Yep.
And we were backing up, and they're getting like first down. So when the starter comes back, what should have been an advantage for us with the starter out, they moved the ball with the backup in.
Did nothing change? It was actually better because they just said, well, we're not going to pass it, and we couldn't stop the run. To me, are you done?
Other main takeaway, I mean, it's tough to win when your best player's out.
Yeah.
God, that sucks.
I mean, that's why they lost this game. Their best player is out. And as we saw last year, everything changes. Literally everything.
I know.
Your offense changes. Your defense changes.
The way your opponent plays you changes.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
And the coverage wasn't even bad, but if Travis is out there, Preston Hodge isn't lined up outside. If you are crazy enough to call zero coverage in that position, maybe the next most disappointing thing is the fact that a strength was a weakness tonight, and that was the run fits and the tackling in the hole and everything that they have done so well every single game this year in terms of direct handoffs to the running back.
Yeah.
And not only was it not up to their standard that they've set for themselves, but it was just bad, like straight up bad. And so that's tough. And like, you expect a team to come out of a bye week and be better,
right?
And they weren't. I don't know if there's anything that looked better tonight. And so that's really frustrating. And then, just what you mentioned with Shilo, like we were wrong at least this week.
Oh, for sure.
I believe in Shilo. I think that
Absolutely.
he's a much, much better player than he showed tonight. But he was, and I know he would say it, and I already heard Coach Prime say it. He was terrible.
He was.
And he didn't look like himself in any way, shape, or form. He's usually aggressive to his own detriment.
Right.
And tonight he looked tentative to his massive detriment. And when you play a certain way all of the time, you can't be tentative. You can't be tentative, Shilo, because that's not a guy. That's not who you are.
Yeah.
If I see Shilo with a head full of steam, missing a tackle, I'm just like, yeah, it happens, whatever.
Yep.
But when I see Shilo chopping his feet and grasping at air, I'm like, that's not you, man. What's going on here? So,
I will say
that was tough.
I will say this about that. You saw it. Jake, did you see it?
Yeah.
I saw it. Funky Dope producer saw it. T Money over there saw it. We have been performing so well while Shilo was down injury-wise. At some point, like, pull him. Have a conversation. Because you have a defense that has played – the safeties have played well without him. They've maintained without him. And so whereas we could admit he had a bad game, at some point when a player is having a bad game, you make a change.
What hurt me was they kicked the ball off, and Kansas State's returning the kickoff, and Carter has a great tackle on kick return.
Yep.
And, it's just like, that's Exhibit A right there. Carter's in there tackling, put it his face mask in the guy.
This just wasn't his week.
And Shiloh's not doing it.
And one thing that you touched on earlier when you opened the show, which was brilliantly executed, the beauty of this situation, the beauty of this ugliness, everything that is just a glaring, damn, that was piss poor, was by people that you can actually count on. Cameron Silman Craig, 9 times out of 10, is not going to fight with Dylan Edwards at the goal line, trying to strip the ball. Like, he's going to knock the hell out of somebody.
Yeah, and just get it. I mean, you got your hands on him on like the 5 or 6 yard line.
Exactly. He's going down at the 5 or 6 yard line. That's not typical. That was atypical. The defensive line, the linebacker tackling, the safety tackling, this was atypical tonight, not typical. Because when you look at the body of work that they've done this season, we have a defense that can tackle. And so that's why I'm optimistic about going to Arizona and Cincinnati coming here, because when you look at everything that we gift wrap to them to lose the game, with minutes left in the game, we had taken the lead.
That's another big takeaway for me. You cannot doubt the fight in this team.
Oh, absolutely.
And the fight
not.
in Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, oh my God.
And what sucks so much is I was just sitting there in the stands with 4 minutes left after an electric moment and series to take the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking like, man, we're gonna get to have the postgame show where we talk about how great teams find a way.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a find a way atmosphere. It's like, are we gonna win this game?
Yeah, and I was just like, that's gonna be so fun because they had no business. I mean, we're all sitting there in the fourth quarter hoping that there's a chance to tie the game late.
Yeah.
Like that is best case scenario. As they get the ball, they're down 10?
Yeah.
With like 11.
24-14.
Yeah, with the beginning of the fourth quarter, I guess.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, go score, get a stop. Hopefully you have a chance to get a field goal towards, and get this thing tied.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they're in the lead.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my God, like how can K-State come back from this?
I told winning this game. Because you Shedeur.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when we converted to 4-3 and converted it like soundly, it wasn't like, they had to measure it or something.
Is that the one he found? He like stepped up and found LeJohntay in the middle of the field.
Yes.
Crazy.
It was like, okay, I told y'all we win. And then when we take the lead, they're over there on the sideline high-fiving like, man, you called it. It's like, when you got Shedeur Sanders, he's balling like that, you got more than a chance.
Yep.
What I did not see coming is that this defense that we have relied on all year, even with the piss-poor tackling all the way up until the final minutes of the game, I did not anticipate we would give up 3 big plays over the top back-to-back to surrender the lead. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, and I mean just like a coverage bust on the one to get-ins.
Yeah, no one covered the running back out of the backfield.
No. Went right up the sideline. What, about
Preston
36
just got
yards?
I thought he was gone.
Yep.
I think it was like 50. No, yeah, it was like 30.
And then Preston just got beat.
Yeah.
Yep, and I mean, I could probably harp on this whole series, which is 3 plays long the whole night. But you're in man on the first play. I don't know if it was 0. And he made the throw.
Yep.
Avery Johnson made the throw.
Yeah, you tested him.
And you were like, I think the thought going into this was, let's make him throw to beat us.
Yeah.
When he made that throw,
You change.
that was your cue to say, you know what? Maybe he does have it.
Yeah.
Maybe he can make these throws. And you kind of got bailed out. You got a mulligan.
Yep.
And you shanked the second one too. And that is going to kill me. And it's, like you said, it's tough because strengths and people that you can count on and people that you believe in so much were the ones that kind of let you down.
Yeah.
And Robert Livingston, I think, is a perfect example. Like, no one in their right mind could say, like, Robert Livingston is in over his head or Robert Livingston should be fired. That would be insane talk.
Yeah.
But it just hurts because he's been such a strength and he had a bad moment.
Yep. All right, let's take our first break. And then we'll continue I don't even know what to call it. Compressing.
Just do the break. We'll figure out the name while you break us.
Shout out to our friends over at Game Time.
Game Time.
Sold out crowd. It was rocking in here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we have another home game in 2 weeks. Cincinnati's coming to town. It's going to be a massive recruiting weekend.
And speaking of Game Time, Cincinnati is sold out.
That is true.
So how are you going to get in? You're going to get in with Game Time.
That is true. We're hitting the road this next week to Arizona. You can hit up Game Time for that as well. Use the Game Time Picks feature. See the view from your seat, where the best deals are, all that good stuff. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use promo code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BUFFS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game Time.
Game Time. Also, shout out Coors Light.
No, Circle K. Sorry.
Well, shout out Coors Light anyway.
Shout
out Circle K.
They sell Coors Light at Circle K.
They do, actually. We were looking at that just the other day. We stopped by Circle K yesterday, got ourselves ready, fueled up, and ready to go for the game today. Some Red Bulls. Jake is drinking one now, which is absolute
insane.
Psycho behavior.
Yeah, it's insane.
You guys act like I'm going to bed here in like an hour and a half. That's just not happening.
That should be the attempt.
I won't be going to bed either.
But you're not salsing up to not go.
Here's the thing.
Like he's taking a power pill over there.
Yeah.
I'll make this quick, but every night after I get home from a game, I just don't sleep.
Me either.
I'm on Twitter. I'm rewatching the game, the highlights, all this. Like, I'm just not going to sleep until like 6 or 7 a.m. probably at this point. So it is what it is.
But you don't want to actively
energized.
work against your ability to sleep.
That's my point.
If you're already not going to sleep, why would you double down on
I'm going to be up.
Because if I'm jazzed for the post-game show, then it's all worth it.
All right, fine.
I take that.
I'll allow
but
that.
if I'm going to be up, I'm going to be up with the lights off, in the bed, trying to go to sleep, but on the phone. I'm not going to go like take 3 Red Bulls and be like, oh, I wish I could sleep.
It's going to be 4 or 5 hours from now until I get to lay my head down anyway. So,
healthy CO, baby.
Anyways,
work on your sleep.
Join the Inner Circle Reward Program. You can get discounts when you want a Red Bull at 2 in the morning.
Dude,
and
this is
when you need gas when you're trying to get home.
Circle K plug. Circle K plug right here on top of the plug that you're doing. You ready?
Yes.
I can't believe that you guys did not recognize this moment in history. Yesterday, the two of you texted me and said, hey, do you want something for Circle K?
You said no.
And I said, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting there eating peanut M&Ms from Circle K. And I was like, I can't double down on these.
Just keep the stash ready. Anyways, scan the code
Circle
on the
K,
screen
man, with the snacks.
to join the Inner Circle Rewards Program. I'm a member, and it's great.
where do we want to go from here? Talk about injuries?
I want to go to Arizona and get a win. That's what I want to
I mean, for sure.
Yeah, let's talk injuries.
Yeah. A lot of them.
No updates. Travis was back on the field. He was in and out of the locker room. Jimmy was in and out of the locker room. Jimmy was never given his helmet back from what I saw.
Travis's first trip to the locker room, and I even caught the audio, he said, I have to pee. He was not injured on the first one.
Okay. But, yeah, man, I mean, Coach had no updates yet either, so we're not going to have to wait until Tuesday really to find out anything.
So a couple of updates just from my eyeball in the locker room.
Okay.
Travis, Jimmy Horn, walking around fine, engaged. motivating the team. So whatever happened injury-wise could have been something like, concussion kind of protocol or some kind of soft tissue thing where you can't visibly see what's hurting because they were moving, just fine. Omarion, shout out to him, in a wheelchair. Looks like a leg break to me. They had the temporary cast on that you could get here in the building. Of course, you can understand how his mood was, but even the way his mood was, he was upbeat, and the guys were rallying around him. Everybody's fist bumping him. He was getting wheeled out. So I would think that of those three, you'll have two back soon, but Omarion is probably out for a year.
Omarion was the leading receiver in this game.
Omarion, man, shout out to him.
And his longest pass of the night was where he got hurt, 51 yards. What a play. Yeah.
What a throw, what a catch. He looked so great in this game, and that just makes me sick.
I will say this. It absolutely makes me sick, and we absolutely need everybody that's on this team. But if there's any room, any unit on this team that has the kind of depth and talent that we can overcome those kind of injuries, it would be Jason Phillips' wide receiver room.
Yeah,
and I think you saw that as the game went on.
And Coach Prime said in the post-game presser, Cordell Russell should be good to go next week.
Yeah.
Well, and it's already a testament to the depth, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is already a testament to the depth that Omarion Miller had 150 receiving yards in this game.
Yeah, man.
Because he's filling in already. But there's a lot of good players in that room. It just sucks. As for Travis, I'm just sitting in the stands trying to figure out what's going on. You obviously rule out anything serious because he's out there moving around.
Yeah,
and engaged.
I tended to rule out anything with like a shoulder or a broken collarbone or anything like that because he had kept his pads on.
Yeah.
So you do end up kind of circling back to something with his head, and the same exact thing applies to Jimmy.
Yeah. And you can even see body language. They wanted to go.
And here's what I'll say about that. Credit to this staff, the coaching staff, if that is what it was, and the training staff for doing what was right for those guys, because I'll tell you this, Travis Hunter's in the game, you win. And so it's very easy to just be like, nah, whatever. Just come on, let's
Coach
go
Prime, great point. Great fist bump on that point. Great point. Coach Prime touched on the pressure. He's like, man, these guys' health and safety are bigger than this win.
Yep.
And the reason you have depth and talent behind that is so you can go out and do your thing should somebody go down. But there's no way I'm putting somebody out there second-guessing the medical staff so we can get a win.
And it's not easy to make those decisions
at all
in the heat of a football game.
Because to your point, Jake, particularly yours, when you were talking about how his presence or lack thereof changes things, you could be tempted to put him out there just as a decoy.
Of course.
Just to get the defensive – I'm talking offensively.
Yep.
Travis out there, receiver, changes the way they play defense. Even if you tell Shedeur, don't even look at him.
Yep.
But so to have a medical staff and a coaching staff here is like, no, we're not doing that.
Yep. Terrell Timmons went down with injury.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did.
Is Micah still dealing with the hamstring?
He was dressed. He warmed up. He did everything.
He was on the field.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. There were some situational things out there, particularly on the goal line, that I was like, okay, Micah going in yet? And, I don't know. I don't know why he didn't get the carries he typically gets.
Khalil Benson, what's going on?
Have no idea.
Man.
I will say this about him. He was an extension of the coach of Phil Lodeholt on the bench. When he was out the game, he wasn't over there like pouting or kicking the cooler over. When they would come off the field, he was pointing out stuff to people. He was being what a teammate should be. But I have no idea why he wasn't in on some of those series or at all.
Okay.
I think Jordan Seaton grew up tonight, though, as the game went on. I think he was able to make some – I'm just looking for those bright spots as we move forward. The resiliency of this team, I think the first half for the offensive line just totally sucked. I think they got better in the second half, which arguably may not have been hard to do when you compare the two halves. But Coach Prime, before he did his team talk to everybody, he literally just sat down with the O-line and said, man, y'all got to make a decision. Like, we cannot not pass block. We cannot not run block. We can't let the quarterback, not even have a time to make the decision. This is the time for y'all to decide individually that it's not going to be me. Yep. And then collectively we move forward. But we can't go back out there in the second half the way we just played. And I think they responded to that.
Yep. I guess the sacks then. Shedeur just
How many was it? 4?
6.
6?
He rolled.
2 of them on him for sure.
2 of them. Well, I think he got called on 1 or 2 for intentional grounding.
Yeah, at least 1 for sure.
And then he rolled into a few of them.
Oh no, it would have been intentional grounding, but they
said
his
knee down.
Yeah. And then a few, he just he tried to do the the Tony Romo, the turnaround rollout thing, and then he just walked into sacks. At that point.
And credit to Kansas State. It felt like they had a game plan and were kind of ready for that move.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it felt like every time he tried to do that, which has worked a lot, they were just right there waiting for him.
He's got to step up, man.
You just said something, dude, that I want to say to the world out there that the 3 of us, particularly myself, have failed to say since the show started. Damn good job, Kansas State.
Yep,
they came in here. We've been poo-pooing about what we didn't do because I really do believe we lost the game more than they beat us. But having said that, they did some things, schematically to test us. They did some things to, kind of make us play where they wanted us to play. That damn third quarter where they had the ball so damn long.
Their opening drive was 8 minutes long.
Oh, my God.
And that kind of just felt like it might take the wind right out of the game.
Yep.
Again,
So I don't want to do all this poo-pooing about us and not recognize playing a ranked team, and they were coming off a bye, and they looked like how we wanted to look coming off a bye. Yep. They were a tough opponent tonight. They did their thing, man, but we gave that game away.
And more specifically, DJ Giddens is a monster.
Yep.
He's a monster.
And I honestly think that he ended up impacting our ability to tackle and the aggressiveness that we were playing with, because there were a couple times where guys on our team who normally go in there and pop somebody ended up with a handful of nothing because his jump cut was just so dirty.
Yeah, it was sick.
So credit to him.
Sick.
Avery Johnson ends up 15-23, 224, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Obviously, one of those is a long 50-yard touchdown. I thought they did a pretty good job against him, but he was also efficient. You got to give him credit there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I said this to Unc before the show started, and it's just like, of all people who deserve criticism in this game, Shedeur's very low on the list. He's
very low.
34 of 40 for 388 yards.
85% complete.
3 touchdowns and interception. But
yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if he'll ever have this, but it's important for him to learn that it's okay to get sacked for 4 yards.
Yes.
And not 16.
Yes.
Or 5, 10.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just know he's such a playmaker, and he wants to always make the play for his team. And so it's one of those things that's like, it's like you're at a job interview and they're like, "What's your biggest weakness?" And you're like, I just tried too hard.
Yeah.
So sometimes it rubs people the wrong way. I try too hard. It's like kind of like that.
Yeah,
it's a strength that becomes a weakness in certain scenarios.
Yeah. But I think you're spot on, dog. I think that it's something at this level the rest of the season and going into his next level, which he clearly is going to play at, that he has to be more aware of down and distance.
Yep.
But I think because of his talent individually and the talent around him, that going from 2nd and 5 to 3rd and 16 doesn't concern him because he's going to get 17 plus, like the way he's wired.
He did it, yep.
But from a mechanic standpoint, like you can't bank on that.
Yep.
Like don't put the chains that much against you.
And it sucks the air out of just everything that's going on when you look up and it's 2nd and 26 or 3rd and 26.
And then you know what happens? He converts
it out. I know.
And then it's like,
and again, it's one of those things where it's like, that's why he's not a reason why Colorado lost this game.
Absolutely not.
Not at all.
But
when you say
those little things like that, where I'm just like, man, he's so close to being perfect.
When what was that final number? His completion?
85.
85%, 34 of 40, 388.
But you realize probably 5 minutes before that, it was like 95%.
I know.
Dude,
he's 24 of 27. 24 of 26 when he threw the pick.
Shepard had a drop. He had an interception. He threw a couple passes just into the offensive line on RPOs near the goal line just because there was nothing there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he truly, other than the interception, had a bad throw tonight.
No, he didn't. I mean, he was humming at a 90-95% clip at one point.
Yeah. crazy.
The interception was tough. I mean, great job in that scenario for the defense to make it not as costly as it felt like it was going to be in that moment. He's got a guy kind of diving at his leg so he doesn't step into the throw and sails it really poorly. But again,
shout out to Hood for our interception.
We'll get to helmet stickers.
Yeah, like that was damn amazing.
We'll get to helmet stickers.
I hate he ran out of gas at the end and stumbled. Like he was
I
going to take that in.
He got like clipped, like someone hit the back of his ankle.
And he did I'm trying to stay up.
All right, let's do this second break.
Second break.
I do want to talk about the run game a bit more, too, and then we can get into helmet
run
stickers.
game?
So, yeah, exactly. Shout out our friends at Breckenridge Brewery. We got a Broncos tailgate tomorrow. If you're in town, come hang out. We'll have
No way
brews
you're
there.
making it.
Oh, I'm going to the game.
That's why he's Red Bulling up.
Save that Red Bull.
But come hang out at the DNVR bar. Hang out with us. We got Breck Brews on tap and in cans. Check out the Breck Brew new West Coast style IPA, the Ridge Runner. I had it for my first time today. Quite good.
Hell yeah.
It's a double dry hopped brew inspired by the untamed beauty of Colorado's trails and creates notes of bright citrus and pine. Check out Breckenridge Brewery's beer locator at www.breckenridge.
Was that the kind of lemonade one?
No, that's the shandy.
Okay. Someone recommended that one
to find a
today.
beer near
I
you.
didn't get it.
Yeah, they have a shandy too.
Is right now?
Yes, this is right now.
Shout out to Sleeper. It's so fun to play over on Sleeper. I'm excited to do it tomorrow for NFL Sunday. You can pull up Sleeper picks. I obviously have my fantasy on Sleeper as well, but you can pull up Sleeper picks and start making combos, trying to figure out, who's going to have more than half a touchdown, who's going to have more passing yards, who's going to have less of this. It's fun to build together your little multiplier, see if you can hit it. So I'll be over on Sleeper in the morning trying to build something up. And you can actually get a $100 match on your first deposit over at Sleeper when you use the code BUFFS. Get a $100 match over at Sleeper to get when you use the code BUFFS and get in on those Sleeper picks.
I love it.
Real quick on the run, I don't even know if there's much to say, but this team just cannot run the ball. And look,
Goodness gracious.
I know Dallin, everyone was saying like he's 100% healthy now coming off this bye week and stuff, and he got most of the carries early. Isaiah's got to get more carries. He has to, man.
I think so too.
Now, let me tell you this and tell them this. I totally agree. What Isaiah has to work on is his practice carries, because it's his practice carries that result in his limited carries in the game. And here's what I know, and you guys know because y'all know ball. There are guys who are game guys.
Yep.
And there are guys who just
has
have
quite a
practice
few of
guys. Yeah. Now, but in Coach Prime's organization, to be a game guy, you got to be a practice guy.
Yep.
And I think as the rotation goes on, because things are not happening, Isaiah ends up getting the ball. He does things that makes the fan and the crowd go like, wow, he had been doing it.
Right.
Like he's got to improve in that film area, improving his carries at practice, because we all see he can do it in the game.
Yep.
And I'm with you. I was one of the ones who said I thought that Dallin was 100%. And I don't know after that first couple series if he's 100%.
He just missed some holes.
Yeah.
Like, he just straight up, like, I don't know what he saw. He just straight up missed them.
And that's part of not being 100%, like that rust. Sometimes it's not physical, it's mental. Like running backs, probably more than anybody's a rhythm thing.
Yeah.
Like you got to get into that groove.
And they tried, too. Get 7 carries early.
Yeah. You saw it. You saw them trying to.
I'm not giving them credit for that.
Oh, no, first quarter, they gave Dallin the ball.
They tried.
Yeah.
But like I said, there were holes there.
As little as you can.
No, there were holes there, and you're going to see
That's
them.
why you keep running it.
But Dallin just missed them, though.
But I'm saying, if you can block that, and the holes are there, you've got the iPads on the sidelines.
Yeah.
You can see it. So give the ball to Isaiah and run those plays.
Or Micah. Where was Micah?
I don't know where he was. I got to drill down on that tomorrow. I don't know what the situation was.
Yeah, he didn't have a carry in the game. There was a lot of regression, I thought, in a lot of areas, and that was one tonight where it was just like, this isn't going to work. Shedeur's amazing. Let's just put it on his back. But it's one of the reasons, and there's several reasons. There's a lot of people to blame when a sack happens. But, Shedeur ends up with negative 50 yards.
Yep.
Rushing, quote unquote, because
He had
they
negative
put the sack.
65 at one point.
At one point. At one point, the total rushing number was -47.
Yeah. So we've learned a million times that no matter who you're playing against, if they know what you're doing, it makes their job so much easier. And K-State, who doesn't have special individual pass rushers, were able to tee off on your offensive line because you didn't even pretend like you were going to run the ball for 3 quarters.
Right.
You raised a good point, so let me eat a little crow, eat some humble pie here. In my scouting analysis, y'all may remember from the pregame show from the hotel, I thought this was one of the more lackluster defensive lines we was going to be facing, and that we were going to have some run opportunities.
From a talent perspective, absolutely.
That's how I was based. I watched the film, the games we've played before, and I watched these guys play. I'm like, okay, this defensive line is not as good as the defensive lines we have been facing.
Yeah.
And so I thought there was going to be a tremendous opportunity there. I even picked Dallin Hayden as my offensive guy of the game, and I've never been more wrong. It was the complete damn opposite. Like, they ate on our side of the line of scrimmage the entire first half.
10 total running attempts, and 3, I believe, were on the first series.
That's about right.
Did I say on this show when Isaiah got the carry at the end of the third?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I understand, and it's a tough place for coaches to be because they want guys to practice a certain way, and they want to reward the guys who do, and it's really hard to reward the guys who don't. And I have no idea if it's Isaiah or whoever. But going off
exactly
of what
right.
you just
that part
said,
is just global.
Yeah, exactly. But this team especially has had guys who kind of fall into that category, and then they step up on Saturday and they make big plays. And I think when your running game is as bad as it was tonight, it's time to try something else.
Yeah.
So the end of the third quarter is just too late.
And you know what?
When you're already down 10.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. Do you know what's so special about this team and this conversation that I hope people out there are grasping? In spite of all that, with minutes left in the game, we had the lead.
It's shocking.
we actually had the lead.
I don't even know what the tenor of this post-game show would have been if they won that game. Other than what I was saying, which is great teams find a way to win, but there was so much that went wrong that I don't think we would have been doing backflips.
I would love to see
No.
that graph pie chart they put up during games, particularly online, the odds of winning at this point.
Oh, I'll pull it up. Because
I know at some point it had to be 80% them, and then minutes later it had to be 90% us, and then minutes later it's 100% them. Look at that. Look at that drop.
Yep.
Dude, we won the game.
Yeah, it literally goes from 86.4% to Kansas State on one play. And then the next play is obviously the interception. And that's when it goes to 85.7% Colorado.
What a swing.
In one play, which I got to go back and watch that play, who was the first person to get their hand on the ball on the pick? I think it hit 3 people before it, or 2 people and then Colton.
Might have been Shilo.
That's what I thought. I hope so.
I think it was. I think it was Shilo.
And I wonder if there's a little bit of that. I just think that maybe one of the reasons why Shilo did stay in the game is because there was some hope that he's going to be able to make a game-changing play at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you expect it to kind of happen like a forced fumble or something like that is more of his specialty. But anyways.
One thing that you don't do in football, generally speaking, NFL, college, you don't lose your job because of an injury. Like when you're ready to go back, you go back. But I do think, and this is not about losing a job, like Shilo is that guy. Just like we've been saying, there's so many other people tonight have bad games that are typically that guy that no one's over here advocating wholesale changes. But I do think there are moments when an individual player can be having such an off night that you like, hey, come over here. It's just not your
him from
go.
himself.
Yeah, it's just not your go.
Yeah.
Think about it in hockey. Sometimes your starting keeper just doesn't have it.
Yep.
And you say, okay, we'll go back to the
and
drawing
he
board.
very well
will
have it the next game. But just whatever reasons, tonight just wasn't his night. And I think there were some opportunities, in particular what you talked about, Carter, on special teams and what guys did previously in Shiloh's absence. It should have made it an easier decision.
Yes.
Because you got proof. You got data points that, we can do stuff while he's down. he tried. Let's get him more ready. Come out.
Yep.
And what's crazy is all of the conversations we've had. This probably could have been and no one would have been happy about this. But this probably could have been a 30-second post-game show where you say, well, do better calling that defense at the end. And also, if you have Travis Hunter, you would have won.
That was
straight up.
That's it. That's the Cliff Notes.
All right, let's just get the helmet stickers in. Who wants to go first?
Give me BJ Green.
Absolutely, man.
BJ Green. What he did out there defensively, the sacks, the energy, and it was when you had to have it situationally. He made some big plays out there. In fact, I dare say that if you use the term, get paid as far as the NFL, he once again made it on the NFL radar tonight.
4 tackles, 2 sacks for BJ Green tonight.
Yeah.
You want to go?
Yeah, give me Omarion Miller.
Absolutely.
Bro. That's a special player. And honestly, another one of those guys where it's like when he gets his opportunities, he just always shines. And I don't know, I'm not even saying it's like a practice thing or whatever. This is obviously just a stacked room.
Yeah.
But somehow Omarion gets out there, he gets the ball in his hands, great things happen. He gets the ball targeted to him, great things happen. Who knows? He might have had 200 receiving yards tonight.
I know.
Yeah.
He's out there, which he already almost did once before in his
dude.
career. And yet he's number 5.
Let me add some personal clarity to that, and it's just my opinion. And Coach Prime kind of alluded to it in the presser. He said that O could be a starter, like situationally. I think that as dynamic as he is, you got some guys in that room that are just as or slightly more dynamic, and this is their only year to do it.
Yeah, well,
and so they get a bump up opportunity-wise, but clearly this dude can play some ball.
Yep. And unfortunately, we'll see, if he's back this year, but super, super bright future.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give mine to Nakai Hill-Green. Led the team in tackles with 10 tackles, and then he had – if the Buffs won this game, we'd be looking at that pass breakup on 3rd down on Kansas State's last drive or before Colton gets the interception as one of the plays of the game.
So, that was No, it was 4th down that they threw that, wasn't it? The picks.
The interception was on 4th down. 3rd down the play before, Nakai gets his hand up.
Yeah.
I think it's Dylan they're throwing
trying to
to.
run a little angle screen type
And
of
he
thing.
gets his hand up, and I think Dylan might have scored on that play if Nakai doesn't get his hand up.
Dude, shout out to your Hillman sticker because Nakai Hill-Green and his play is the one who made it hard for me to criticize the tackling of the linebackers. Because he skewed the data. It's like, okay, no, as a group, bad game, but damn, he played.
Yep.
He might have missed
And even
some.
he has some ones that he
Oh,
wants
yeah, no doubt about it. Because he had one that had he wrapped up, we're off the field.
Yeah.
But he hit him, and the guy just rolled off of it.
I still thought he played lights out tonight for the most part.
That's what happens when you come on the show, though.
He's a dog, of course, absolutely.
By the way, another sad thing about this game, I would just love to be destroying Kansas State's coaching staff or whatever the hell they were doing on that drive.
The second to last
The
drive?
one that ended with the pick.
Yeah, crazy.
What the hell was that?
Yeah.
And then they went, and I know some of them legit, I'm not questioning, but they went about 8 plays in a row with an injury every damn play.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
That was wild.
Yes.
What's interesting about that is, obviously the fans and everyone who's kind of watching is like, is this on purpose?
Yeah.
That was beneficial to Colorado.
Absolutely.
Because they scored on, 5-6 plays on that drive?
That drive only took up 2 minutes and 11 seconds of time off the clock.
But it took 12 minutes of real life, and
yes.
the defense needed it desperately.
Yes. Name drop time. I'm standing there talking to T.O., Terrell Owens, and I said, okay, here's the opportunity with them doing that, whether it is intentional or guys hurt. We should have 2 plays. Like, we should already know we're going to run this one and run this one next because they're giving us so much time.
But that's what they wanted to do, but they kept going down after every play, so you had to go back to the sideline.
We just squandered it, man, because we were up.
But that was a crazy series of play calls. Also, someone texted me, I don't know if this is true. They said that Kansas State didn't run a run play in the 4th quarter.
I'll check that. I'll give another helmet sticker to Will Shepard because he had a brutal drop near the goal line, and then he still responds that drive and catches a tough throw from Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah. Looks like he said he lost it in the lights. I'm not excusing it because it hit him, but somehow he lost where the ball was.
That would make sense to me because he was so wide open, too. It might have been that he was just too open that he kind of lost concentration at that point as well. But
Well, it's another one of those ones where when Shedeur sees someone that open, he throws it he was making sure that he doesn't overthrow you.
Right, yeah.
So, he allows you to come back. I mean, everyone, that was a touchdown.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But great job by both of them to come back. The throw from Shedeur on that touchdown, running forward in the pocket, dropping the arm angle, and slinging it to the back of the end zone, that one's going to get the eyes of NFL scouts.
And here's why I keep emphasizing that right after you do it so brilliantly. College football, hell, NFL football, team with the best quarterback is going to win more times than not. And I think our fan base and our hater base needs to realize we're walking into the game with the best quarterback. Yep. And if you doubted it before tonight, shame on you. But after tonight, you just have to know, if I got that guy, even with poor tackling, even with poor offensive line play, even with inept running, whatever the case may be, I got that guy, I got a chance. Now, if some of those things help me, that's when you get the UCF result.
Yep.
And tonight we just didn't get enough help to get over that hump. And we were still winning with minutes left in the game.
And that's what just makes me sick about this. You just should not lose games where your quarterback does that.
No.
Kansas State definitely ran the ball in the fourth quarter.
Okay, all right.
All right, let's take our final ad break. Let's get super chats.
Ad break, super chats.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
Shout
it's
out
only
to
1:41 in the morning.
Shout out to our friends at UC Health with Coach Prime as the Chief Motivation Officer.
And what's the emphasis this time, Jake?
Don't sleep on sleep.
Yeah, don't sleep on sleep. So you shouldn't be drinking a Red Bull at 1:30 in the morning.
Look, man, I've got all day tomorrow.
No, read that. Go ahead.
Game.
Yeah, read that.
Tomorrow after the Broncos game is when he's going to catch up on sleep.
We literally in Los Angeles did a postgame show, did not go to sleep, drove straight to the airport.
We were there.
We were all there.
Yeah.
And then I went and got 30 minutes of sleep back home, and then got my ass back to Mile High to watch them beat the Chiefs that day too. I've done it on less sleep.
You want to know who has to deal with your mood on Monday morning?
Who?
Us.
You guys don't even see me on Mondays. You see me virtually.
True.
I deal with your mood via text. But no, I want to hear the rest of this ad.
Anyway, shout out to Coach Prime, encouraging Coloradans to be their healthiest selves.
Which a big part of that is?
Sleep. Don't sleep on sleep. Put your phone down. Set a bedtime. Don't drink Red Bulls. If you want to join UC Health's Ready, Set, Code Challenge, click the link in the show notes or go to www.uchealth.org/readysetco.
Also, shout out to Toyota.
Toyota back in F1, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
They are going to be the engine supplier for Haas Racing, which is the American team.
How are we doing? How are we looking?
Haas hasn't been bad.
Okay. Is F1 still where just the same guy wins every time?
No, Max hasn't won in a long time.
Oh, power shift.
No, we've got a battle for the
Toyota.
title. Well, they're not yet, but
yeah, next year.
Yes, exactly.
Fun fact. Fun fact. Because I know you love your Toyota.
I do.
And I know you love Jake. And I know you love me.
Love you all.
The three of us were in your Toyota at the same time.
When?
Yesterday.
Oh, we were, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yesterday.
Great times.
Yeah.
Shout out
so great that you forgot it. Like you said,
Bro.
when. It was not even 24 hours ago.
It was, for sure, over 24 hours ago. Anyways, shout out to Toyota. Visit a Front Range Toyota store at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota Eastern Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR.
Jake,
sick Toyota at the
before
Toyota.
we go to Super Chats, take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. I know you Red Bulled up.
All right, Alyssa, we're counting on you. We're counting on you heavily to screen the comments.
So yeah, I might have to take a second here, but I think most of them aren't too bad.
So I was gonna say, I feel like I just came back like 5 seconds ago. I'm like back to being okay.
Yeah.
Don't mess this up for me.
Don't
Super
open
Chats.
Twitter. Don't open Twitter.
First super chat from Don Peasy. I love Livingston, but this was his worst called game by far. Shilo played like Travis versus Stanford after injury. Tough loss. Tough loss. I still believe #SCO.
Good comment. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Twitter, it's just so funny the way that everyone tries to act after a CU loss. I'm talking about haters, where it's like they're trying to 360 onto the legs dunk on CU for losing by 3 as a 3-point underdog.
Yeah.
CU covered tonight.
Yeah, there was a 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 or more at any point.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it sucks. We lost. It was a great game.
But guess
You're
what?
not going to hurt me by saying, "Oh, well, you lost."
They're going to wake up tomorrow still thinking about Colorado.
They sure are.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super chat. Who's next?
JP's Revenge super chat says, I don't feel too bad about this loss with all the injuries, but we could have won this even without Travis. We celebrated too early when we went up late in the fourth.
I don't think it was that.
Yeah, I don't think it was celebration.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. But I feel you. We should have won. We were up.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'll just say this. It's hard to complain about touchdowns, but I'll find a way. If you're a team that can run the ball,
Of course.
you're definitely
Of course.
running the ball when you get the ball on the 20-yard line or whatever it was, going in with 3:45 or however much time is left.
That was about right.
To give them less time if you do score.
Sure.
But it might not have mattered because they scored in 3 plays.
I know.
Yeah.
But even then, maybe you change your approach because it's not 4 minutes
What
left.
was so crazy, Jake, to that point, and I know we got super chat, so I'll be real quick. They almost scored too fast.
Yeah.
Both
We
teams scored too
we
fast.
just didn't have any timeouts like to do anything with it. But they're like, I don't think they were expecting to score in 3 plays.
Well, and one more complaint about play calling. I just feel like when you're coming out with 2-10, you got to have a drive starter. Like a play that you're like, we know this one's going to work. Some sort of misdirection, a throwback screen, a regular screen, a tunnel screen, whatever. It's like, let's just get this drive because we know they're putting a lot of pressure on Shedeur. Let's just get this drive going with this play that we have a good feeling about.
Yeah.
But it was the same, just classic drop back. Shedeur scrambles out, throws it to Dallin Hayden a couple yards.
Yeah.
And then and I'm just like, that's such a momentum time where the defense is nervous. But you allow them to kind of gain momentum by just running a normal play, allowing them to be like, okay, we're going to be able to get back there.
And they had so much time because I think they got the ball back with 2:14. They only had one timeout, but the 2-minute warning is right there.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you
right
didn't
there.
need to press right then. And even then, how many times have you watched the game in college football before or after the 2-minute warning? 2 minutes left, no timeouts. That's still so much time for a team to get down
I
the
can't
field.
wait to go back and look at it because, like, it's so damn painful that you forget stuff and maybe your eyes playing tricks on you. Like when they scored over the top of Hodge, I was sitting there looking around like, okay, where was the safety? Like, because there's no one else on the field. And the other thing I saw, I think it was 4th and 5 where we went to Will Shepherd.
The last offensive play, yes.
I don't remember seeing any of the receivers past 5 yards.
I didn't see – and a lot of people are kind of going after Shedeur for throwing that.
Yep.
My perspective of it, and obviously I've only seen it once live from the stadium, was that he felt the pressure crashing down on him. He's like, well, we got to have a chance here.
Should've just
And that's
took
the
off.
same thing I saw. It's like I saw the opportunity to run, and then passing-wise, I was like, well, shit, this is his only choice because nobody else is going to get the first down.
Yeah, I didn't see a single other route, so I have no idea. But I did feel like, he's got to throw it up rather than getting sacked there. And I felt like it was getting caved in on him.
Yeah.
By the way, we've gone this far without talking about it, but I know I saw it a million times in my mentions. Probably could have been PI.
I don't even want to get into it.
And that's what I was just going to say. There's so much other things and other opportunities to win this game. It's a close call. I think, from my black and gold glasses, it could have been called. But it's not – there's just too much other shit to complain about for me to complain about that one.
Absolutely.
It was a slightly underthrown ball. Will had to turn all the way around. The DB is there. Like, what do you want him to do?
He's got his arm around him.
I know. I just,
Like I said, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it, but I'm finna make it worth it for 5 seconds. I thought it was PI, and I had no shock that it wasn't called. Just situation. It's like they're not gonna call
That's a
that.
good way of putting it.
Super chat from Original said, defense lost this game for us. We knew they were going to run. And for most of the game, we only had 7 in the box. QB runs killed us first half, and we knew it was coming. Poor coaching.
You know what really killed them was in a QB run was one of these, but 3rd and extra long converted 3 or 4 times in this game. There's like a 3rd and 16, a 3rd and 13, a 3rd and 14.
Kansas State was only 5 of 13 still, but they were 2 of 3 on 4th down.
I have to bump you on your brilliance, but I want to add something to it. It wasn't just 3rd and 16. it was 3rd and 16 because we just got a sack.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
And you had all this damn momentum where you get a sack on 2nd down, making it 3rd and a mile, and he damn jogs for it.
Yeah.
And there was a 3rd down too. They hit a crosser. The crosser was open all night. By the way, I don't know.
It reminded me of last year.
Yeah, exactly. It was crazy, and he I don't know if he didn't see it or was like working away from it, but he didn't see it till late, and he hit it and finally got us
1st down.
Yep.
Super chat from Mountain Aesthetic says, great show so far, guys. Seems like your hearts are heavy with the thought that we only have 6 to 7 games left in the 2 and 12 era.
I don't want to think about it right now.
Yeah, that's a terrible time to think about that.
Thank you for the super chat, though. I
You're
appreciate
gonna make me
the
drink
sentiment.
a Red Bull.
I appreciate the sentiment, but thank you. Yes.
Super chat from Cam M says, I'm pissed, but season is bigger than this moment of hurt.
course.
Missed opportunity, but we got the people we need if we choose to respond the right way.
Big opportunity next week.
Man, shout out to the super chat so far. They get it. Like,
Yeah.
I know I said this after Nebraska, and I probably should have waited 24 hours to say it. But everything that we wanted that's in front of us is still in front of us right now, too.
I think
They're
you're
second place. They're tied for second place, and well, I guess it's technically you're tied for 4th because there's 3 teams undefeated. But you have you're tied for the 2nd best record in the Big 12 right now.
Yeah.
Everyone is tripping if you think you're going to get to the Big 12 title game completely undefeated.
It's not
Because
gonna
what
happen.
we've seen is this conference is very, very close.
Yeah, and
The national champion is not going to be undefeated this year.
Damn straight.
I think a 3-loss team will probably make the playoff, at least one. And Kansas State is one of those teams that is considered a contender for this.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a loss.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you lost the Baylor game,
Right.
that would be a lot more warranted freak out.
Yeah.
But I think everyone sounds good tonight. So.
Don Peasy with another super chat says, silver lining, Omarion Miller, Travis Hunter, Terrell Timmons, Jimmy Horn all got hurt, and we still had the lead with 2 minutes left. Arrow
Amen.
points up.
Yep. Spot on.
Kind of hurts more.
Super chat from Darius Swift says, go Buffs, but let's celebrate on 3 and 4 downs and not the 1st and 2nd downs.
I don't know what that's in reference to.
I don't either. I still don't think celebrations got us, but okay.
Last one here. The Campos says, disappointed in the lack of commitment to the run and lack of execution on defense. Major respect for the never quit attitudes. Go Buffs. The belts and antennas will have to wait another week.
We better bring them out next week.
Yeah.
You know, look, we have thrown around all season long, whether it's in prosecution or defense, must win. Tonight's loss, we got to get these next 2.
Definitely one at a time.
Yeah, one at a time. But like starting in Arizona, like tonight's L made that's a must W now.
Yeah, and unfortunately you have a wounded animal, no Wildcat pun intended, but
They're reeling.
they are reeling, and they're also going to be dangerous because they're going to be desperate.
Yep.
And we really need Travis Hunter in that game.
Yeah.
Really badly.
Maybe I should go out there with a 12 on. Think they'll fall for it?
I'd rather have Travis, not you. Sorry.
No, I'm just a decoy, you know. Like, who's that fat?
That's it?
12?
Okay, so either you guys were amazing tonight or
Yeah.
elicited
Or
a
the
great
filter.
job screening. I don't want to know the answer. I
don't either. Yeah.
She's got her glasses on, so I'm going to trust the filter.
Thank you to everyone who came out for the tailgate today, though. That was
Awesome tailgate.
incredible.
Oh, such a good tailgate.
I love Buff Nation.
Did you hear the cheers when the bus door opened?
Yeah, bro. I was like, please stop this.
I know.
I feel so uncomfortable.
It's crazy. But love you guys. Shout out to y'all for showing so much love. All the people we met from, across the country again this weekend, man.
Baltimore, Boston, Indianapolis last time. Like, people, the amount of people who fly in. A guy flew in from New York, and he's on his way to the airport now. Like, he came in just for the game.
Yeah,
Yep.
respect. Buff Nation's pretty amazing.
It is.
We'll be back on Monday.
Jake will be
rewatch the
awake
game.
until then.
Go Broncos. Go Buffs. And, we'll talk then.
Let's go Buffs.
Go Buffs.
Let's go, Buffs.
We all silly like the